There were things that I was successful at, but long-term relationships were not one of them. And I felt that it was really not my destiny to have a long-term relationship, and marriage really didn't interest me.
There were things that I was successful at, but long-term relationships were not one of them. And I felt that it was really not my destiny to have a long-term relationship, and marriage really didn't interest me. Victoria Principal enjoys dipping her toes in various pursuits to find out what's right for her. She considered traditional careers, like medicine or law, before deciding acting was the path for her. She felt connected to the role of Pam on the soap opera Dallas, and it kickstarted her career. She's also dipped her toe into the dating pool several times. When marriage did begin to interest her, not one of her attempts at romance lasted forever. She's the kind of woman who'd rather move on to a better relationship when one sours. Her early life. Victoria Principal was born January 3 1950 in Fukuoka, Japan, to Victor Rocco Principal and Bertha Ray Principal. She spent the first 3 months of her life there. Her father was a U.S. Air Force sergeant, and she moved often. She went to 17 different schools, including the Royal Ballet School, while her family was in London. Like many child actresses, she began in commercials early at age 5. She didn't expect to keep up with it forever and enrolled at Miami-Dade Community College to study medicine. While driving back from the library, she was involved in a car accident with a drunk driver. She was seriously injured. Months of recovery gave her time to reflect. Was she willing to retake her first year of studies after having almost completed them before the accident? She decided to change course. When she recovered, she moved to New York City to pursue acting. She then went to the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art in London to learn more and finally moved to Los Angeles. Her early work. Victoria's first major film role was as Maria Elena in 1972's The Life and Times of Judge Roy Bean. Her skills made the film's writer, John Milius, enlarge her role. She also earned her first Golden Globe nomination for Most Promising Newcomer. Her next role was 1973's risk comedy, The Naked Ape. It was a flop. The 1974 disaster film Earthquake was more promising as one of the era's highest-grossing films. She received 4 Academy Award nominations and 2 Golden Globe nominations for it. She then acted in lesser-known films such as I Will, For Now, and Vigilant Force. They helped her secure a 3-picture deal with Brute Productions. She took a brief time off from acting from 1975 to 1977, going behind the camera as a talent and booking agent. She hoped it would finance her college tuition for law school. She changed that ambition later, but did get an honorary degree from the University of West Los Angeles School of Law in 1993. She returned to the character she played in Earthquake in 1976 by shooting additional scenes for the film. Some of her earliest TV work included the pilot of Fantasy Island and the 1977 TV film The Night They Took Miss Beautiful. She was then offered a show she couldn't refuse, Finding Dallas. Victoria is best known for her work on the TV soap opera Dallas. By the time she got the pilot script, she had left law school behind and returned to acting. She said, "I had already fallen in love with the show and with the part, so my feeling from the moment I read it was that it was incredibly special and that I really, really wanted to be a part of it. I could not imagine not being Pam." She even admitted later that she turned down another potential role that would have created scheduling conflicts so she could be on the show. She was an actress who loved to work with and influence her characters. She admitted, "I'm told to a certain degree what's going to happen to me as Pam, so I know which way my character is going, and that way I can discuss whether I like it or not." Victoria was also her own manager at the time, so she had control over her contracts. She removed a clause that would have let the network profit from any of her outside endeavors. That's why she was one of the only cast members who did outside work like commercials, movies, and books. Dallas was more than just a soap opera. It was a national phenomenon. The 1980 cliffhanger episode Whodunit brought closure to the Who Shot J.R. cliffhanger. It was the highest-rated TV episode in history at the time. It remains the second highest-rated primetime telecast ever. Victoria spent 9 years on Dallas, from 1978 before leaving it in 1991. Many of her favorite writers had left, and she felt the show's quality had diminished because of it. She still felt grateful for the role, saying, "I learned a lot from playing Pam." She was someone with such innate goodness and who was courageous in fighting for what she believed in. It was really a privilege to play her. Victoria's other acting. Victoria worked to distance all of her acting outside of Dallas from her character on the show. She didn't want to be boxed into only one persona. She started her own production company, Victoria Principal Productions. It focuses primarily on TV films. A few major productions she starred in include 1989's Naked Lie and Blind Witness, and 1990 Sparks, The Price of Passion. Victoria even returned to soap operas in the 2000s as part of the short-lived TV series Titans. It was supposed to be Dynasty for the new millennium, but got low ratings and only aired 11 of its 13 filmed episodes. Victoria's love life. Victoria has been romantically linked to many men. That included Frank Sinatra, Anthony Perkins, Lance Renaud, Desi Arnaz, Jr. Mark Sangor, and Charles Schmidt. She still claims to have had fewer serious relationships than most. Only 3 ever led to marriage. Christopher Skinner. Victoria met Christopher Skinner in 1978 when he came on Dallas to play a bit part. It allegedly only took 3 dates for them to decide they wanted to be together forever. The marriage didn't last, though. They filed for divorce in 1980, and it was finalized in 1981. Victoria's 75-hour-a-week schedule was too much for Christopher. She admitted, "We married just before the incredible upsurge in Dallas's popularity. It was good for the first year and more, but he finally realized he wanted a more traditional marriage with a lady more available at home." There were also claims that Christopher was unfaithful. Andy Gibb. Victoria had a relationship with songwriter Andy Gibb, the youngest member of the Bee Gees. He had always had a crush on her and admitted, "People magazine asked me what my favorite shows were on TV, and I said Dallas only because of Victoria Principal." They met in person in 1981 when they were both guests on The John Davidson Show. Andy gushed about her on air, and the two had an immediate connection. He got her number, and they began dating. The low-key nature eventually became public. They celebrated their love on a duet of All I Have to Do Is Dream, which was Andy's last single and the only one Victoria ever put out. The relationship ended in March of 1982 as Andy's drug problems got worse and worse. She said, "Our breakup was preceded and precipitated by Andy's use of drugs. I did everything I could to help him, but then I told him he would have to choose between me and his problem." The press hounded her after the breakup, suggesting that Andy was pushed into addiction by a broken heart. He admitted, "When we did split up, it didn't seem. What hurt me was that she didn't seem to go through any pain at all, and I felt a bit strange being the man feeling the pain and the weakness. And it really was hell for me." Victoria made it clear she understood his pain, but didn't cause his addiction. She also said he would always be dear to her. Andy Gibb died March 10, 1988. Harry Glassman. Henry Glassman was a prominent plastic surgeon throughout Beverly Hills. He and Victoria met in 1983. They were both going through divorces at the time. She was dealing with an emotional split from Andy. He was arguing over property with his ex-wife Jane. The divorces were eventually finalized, and Victoria was deeply in love with Harry. She also loved his children from his previous marriage. Victoria and Harry were married June 22, 1985. they didn't have children of their own together. Rumors flew that Victoria didn't want to have children because she didn't want pregnancy to affect her body. She debunked the rumors and said she was struggling with fertility. They lived together in harmony in Beverly Hills until May of 2006. She filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. Harry and Victoria had been in the news due to domestic violence claims shortly before their divorce. Henry was arrested in 2002 and charged with inflicting corporal injury, but released on bail. Victoria split more than $50 million of her assets with her ex. Claims arose that she only did so because he had dirt on her a large amount of cosmetic surgery he'd performed on her. Making that public would ruin her image of maintaining her beauty through natural methods. Victoria insists these rumors are unfounded. Outrow. Now it's time to hear from you. What's your favorite memory of Victoria Principal? Let us know in the comment section below.